dedicated to the memory of David Rocky Rocastle. Seems like yesterday you rocked the show. Beat free man and shot for gold. Quick time became a hybrid hero. Rocastle, you got to know that life ain't always what it seems to be. Words can't express what you mean to me. Even though you're gone, we're still a team. Through the arsenal, we fulfill your dream. In the future, can't wait to see the statue of Rock to see. Reminisce sometimes the night that we lost a friend, and how I love to see you play again. Though you're not here, we feel you near. In our hearts and mind, we hold you dear. Forever we gon' sing your name. I know you're watching in heaven every game.
Yes, you're watching the Armoury TV. I'm MrSilvaFox, and today is the 31st of March, which of course marks the anniversary of the passing of one legendary David Carlisle Rocastle, simply known by everyone that loved him, fans, players alike, as Rocky. What a legend. Now listen, I'm going to be honest, I was born in 1985, so I missed a huge chunk of his Arsenal career. I did see him play for the likes of Leeds and Man City. And I tell you what, he was a baller. Like, they refer to him, players, fans, they refer to him as the South London Brazilian, and then they're not far off. You put him in the modern game today, I think he'll do just fine, and I think he'd shine as much as he did back then. I really, really do believe that. My first memory of him, I think he was 91, 92. It was at Old Trafford, a game against Manchester United, and he's lobbed Schmeichel. I know it's come off the bottom of the crossbar off Schmeichel, and it'll probably be credited as an own goal for Schmeichel these days, but I think it was credited to him. But what he'd done there, he's shown that you know, he knew how to beat a player with the ball or just by shooting. And Schmeichel, well, after that, he was a bit prone to the lob. So you could say that, you know, Rocastle showed the way in how to beat such a top keeper like Peter Schmeichel. Because, you know, Schmeichel was one of the best in the business, and you know, but he was just an absolute baller. I had people show videos when we won the league in '89, and how influential he was and how skillful he was. And he's inspired generations, and even generations after him. You look at Bukayo Saka when he took the number 7 shirt, and Saka, obviously, you know, being an Arsenal fan himself, he knows what the number means, and he's looked into his history and the way he speaks about Rocastle. You know, he knows, and to see guys like that, you know, who are as young as he is, talk about Rocastle that way, it just shows, you know, like how much of a legend David Rocastle really, really was, and what a player and what a man he was. You know, you often hear the likes of Perry Groves, Martin Keown, Tony Adams, Ian Wright, Kevin Campbell, you know, say about him, about the man, and you can see it. You can see it on the pitch, and you can see it in the clips that you see these days on socials and YouTube, that he was a gentleman of the game and very, very good at it. And yeah, like I said, I don't think he'd have a problem in today's game. But today, it's all about David Rocastle, and his legend will live on forever. What he's done for a community as well, in particular, which I'm sure you can hear about later on, it's phenomenal. A phenomenal career he had, a massive influence in such, you know, he passed away at such a young age. It's just no age at all. You know, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma is no joke, and tributes to him and anyone that suffered with it and have passed with it. So today we're going to honour him. I've got a couple more guests here that want to say stuff on the man that is David Rocastle. But yeah, today we remember Rocastle.
This is just a massive Armoury big up for David Rocastle. Memories I have of that guy is unbelievable. never known a right winger to be as tough, skillful, and just downright, just brilliant. An absolute Hall of Famer. The goals I've seen him score, most notably against Tottenham in the Littlewoods Cup semi-final, wicked goals in the League Cup against Liverpool. He's integral in terms of what we did when we won the league for all, up at Anfield. If you see that there was just before Alan Smith scores the first goal, you just see Rocastle just kind of give it that, and it was just brilliant. That was just like grit and determination. It's like, guys, come on, we can do this. Rocastle will be remembered, man, forever. Forever an Arsenal man. Absolutely brilliant. It's taken too early. Such a shame. But yeah, listen, for all those millennials who don't know David Rocastle, YouTube him. Absolute legend of the game. Should have had so many more England caps as well. If he was today, playing today, oh my God, absolute, be ripping it up. But yeah, today's about David Rocastle remembrance. And I remember what he did for us. Absolute ledge.
R.I.P. man like Rocky Rocastle. True gen Arsenal legend. Will never be forgotten. Integral parts to us winning titles. League Cup win as well. I think it was very, very important to us in that cup run. What can I say, man? Every year that passes by, his spirit still lives on, and is felt, it was felt at Highbury, definitely at the Emirates. We still sing his name. This guy, he was ahead of his time. True revolutionary when it came to plucky wing play. Amazing feet. Good eye for goal as well. 277 games, 34 goals, 2 league titles. League Cup winner as well. Man, it's just sad, that his life was cut so short. I feel like it's time at Arsenal as well, but look, man, nothing more can be said other than his legacy remains and his memory lives on. He is immortal, and it's like our Invincibles, he'll forever, ever be a massive, massive part of Arsenal's legacy to English football. So rest easy, brother, and we'll see you on the other side. Gone, never forgotten.
Hi, I do clearly remember David Rocastle. I think it was 1993 and City were in a terrible state. Peter Reid had been fired and Brian Houghton was in, and I think City were going to get relegated that season. And they did a swap deal with Leeds for David White, who was actually quite a City favourite. I think Leeds got a good deal. But David Rocastle came across the City and he was loved by the fans. I remember watching it at Main Road and the rest of the team was bloody rubbish. And he just had so much more time on the ball. I remember about 7 or 8 years later when Nicholas Anelka arrived, and he was the next player I saw with that sort of quality and pace on the ball. But what a beautiful guy, what a lovely player. He was a bit too good for that Man City team that got relegated in 1993, but such is life. But yeah, here's Rocky.
Yo, how you doing, man? It's Omondi Juma here from the Man United Agenda. Yes, I said it, the Man United Agenda. I'm here to support the Armoury TV. Armoury TV doing a fantastic job. I love all you guys on the panel. And I just want to say, with this anniversary, what your tribute you're doing to David Rocastle is fantastic. And I feel honoured that you've asked me to speak on it. And yeah, here we go. So David Rocastle, Rocky Rocastle. I mean, growing up, I was born in '76.
And yeah, growing up watching football, I've always had a passion for football first. Clubs and all that, yeah, we support our clubs, but I'm not tribal about it. I just love the game. But I think with Arsenal, what really stood out to me is seeing black faces with Arsenal. And I think especially in the 80s, you had guys like Chris White, Paul Davis, for example. Paul Davis, one of the first guys, and Paul Canaville as well for Chelsea, Paul McGrath, Remy Moses. These are all the guys that sort of stood out to me, you know. It's like, oh wow, you know, look at these guys, and you always take an interest in them. But for me, Rocky Rocastle was one of these players who sort of captured the imagination, because he was in. There's this kind of stereotype with so-called black players back then. It was always like they can run fast, they're skillful, but they don't have any sort of leadership qualities or that kind of thing. They can't be a captain, or they can't be a main player, you know, just like a fast guy. So yeah, guys like the 3 Degrees, and Cyril Regis stands out for me. I mean, he was big, powerful, strong, a bit like Les Ferdinand, you know, he had all those good attributes. And then he had Laurie Cunningham as well, and he was amazing. Ended up playing for Real Madrid. He was that good, you know, and revered out there until injury and everything let him down. But David Rocastle really stood out for me, because when it came to skill, I mean, he could square up a man and you know, cut you in half. He always used to do that chop inside out. Such good ball control. And in that era as well, I sort of fell in love with him in a way, because he had the slick back hairstyle. He just looked cool, and you know, his style of play was really awesome for me to watch, because football back then was a lot different to what we see today. It was a lot more physical, a lot more running, and sometimes you'd bypass the midfield, a lot more long balls, that kind of thing. But when you get David Rocastle on the ball, it was a thing to watch. It was real joy. And my uncle had a team. My uncle Hawkeye, he had a team in Harlesden. A lot of them still talk about David Rocastle today. They built a team, and I think a lot of themselves based their game on David Rocastle. Obviously, you had a left-footed guy in Paul Davis, who was very cultured and skillful, but also could have it as well, as we know when he broke the guy's jaw at Southampton, you know. And you had to be really tough in those days. And I think Rocky Rocastle, he had a bit of everything. He was tough. He had, you know, I could remember images of him like being real rough and hardcore, and you know, a bit passionate about the game. But skill-wise, he was fantastic. And at the time, I think he was a bit overshadowed by Barnes, because Barnes was coming through, and Barnes had a window of form where he was just unstoppable, maybe from 88, 9, 90, that sort of era. But Rocastle was playing for Arsenal before that, and he was the main man at that time. I think he could play on the right wing. When we say right wing, right midfield it would have been, and in the centre of the midfield as well. And then he started getting caps for England, which is really great. Obviously, we know with Rocastle, injury sort of stopped him, and he stopped getting games. And unfortunately, he had to leave Arsenal and go to Leeds. But he was still highly rated, and but never quite the same player after the injury. A bit like John Barnes when he had injury as well. So I salute players like David Rocastle. For me, I know the players came before him, but for me and my generation, he's one of my heroes. And I don't idolise anybody, but when I say my heroes, it's like seeing him play and seeing gives you sort of a bit of a excitement, doesn't it? To think that, wow, you know, that could be me playing. You know, there is opportunity for black players to step up, and I think there's 1,000 David Rocastles out there that don't make it. But obviously, he had a lot of grit and desire to really push himself. And when you hear Ian Wright talking about his desire to play and pushing people, and how Ian Wright felt about David Rocastle, I think that resonates with everybody, even the fans like myself growing up, to see that it had such a big impact. So he will never be forgotten in my eyes. Seeing him get the ball, his technique, square a man up, you know, and just like I'm not the best of players. I'm granted, I'm not the best of. I'm really tall, so I've never been a skillful player, but I've always wanted to be skillful like that. And what I did do, what my dad also taught me as well, is to cut, the fake. You know, like to fake to shoot and cut back, and you have to have good technique to do that. And I always, when I do that skill, I always think of Rocastle, because he was able to do that with perfection. You know, He'd jockey, drop a shoulder, none of his step over business. He just wasted a lot of time. He was very effective with what he did. So get the ball, great first touch. You tried to rush in, cut, chop, inside out. You know, and I remember a goal he scored against Manchester United. I hate to talk about this, but it was a fantastic goal. And maybe it wasn't his goal. Maybe it hit the crossbar, came down, and someone else scored it, whatever. But he cut. I think someone rushed into him. Might have been Brian Robson actually, and that just shows the mark of the man. And he cut him in half. Touch, shot from outside the box. Boom against crossbar, down, and probably went. You know, if we had goal line technology back then, probably went in, but maybe went in off the keeper or someone came in and shot afterwards. I didn't do my research on that, but I remember that goal a lot. Schmeichel was in goal as well, so he might have cut Brian Robson in half, who was probably one of the greatest players England's ever had, and then scored a great goal from outside the box against one of the greatest goalkeepers in the Prem I've ever seen. So David Rocastle, it's not just about that goal, it's about how historic he is to a lot of young people growing up, and the opportunity to seeing him play gave others hope and opportunity to play as well. And now you see the game, there's a lot of opportunity for young brothers and players and people from different backgrounds to start playing. And I mean, David Rocastle was just fantastic. So big up to you guys in the Armoury, great tribute to a great player, and I'm happy, really happy to be able to sort of talk with him, because I love the guy. And rest in peace, David Rocastle. Rocky, you're a legend. And Arsenal Football Club, a great football club, well-managed club, and they sort of, you know, I know West Bromwich Albion did it prior to that, but for me, Arsenal really did it. Had Mickey Thomas, Paul Davis, Rocastle, and Kevin Campbell, Ian Wright, all these players started coming through, and it's great to see, really refreshing. And of course, don't forget Rocastle's part of that magical day at Anfield when they won 2-0, the scoreline they exactly needed, and he was inspirational that day as well. So big up David Rocastle and your family, big up all your Arsenal fans, and don't forget to tune into the Armoury TV. God bless.